Thank you. All right, get this fixed. Alrighty, so hello everyone. Welcome to another Beta Alpha Psi meeting. Today we will be hosting a job and internship fair prep workshop to prepare you students for the upcoming job and internship fair that will be happening next week on February 29th on the Florida campus in the Ferguson Rec Center from 2:30 to 5 p.m. If anyone has not signed up for it already, if you've not received any emails from Pat or Paige from former Metro, please scan the QR code if you would like to go to this via handshake. Note for anybody who is on Metro, we will have transportation for you. Please contact Paige Schultano for details about that. But I will pull that up again at the end of the presentation today if anyone did forget, but let us go on with our agenda for the day. So we're going to talk about LinkedIn and Handshake, how to, prepare your LinkedIn profile for when you're ready to network. We'll also talk about resume review, and we're also talking about career fair prep, how to prepare for the career fair if it's a in-person virtual career fair. And we'll also do a little Kahoot game at the end, just as, spice things up a little bit. So, all right. So let us start by talking about LinkedIn and Handshake. So basically, most of you probably know what Handshake is by now, because if you've had career strategies class, they probably would tell you to set up a Handshake account. So I think I should not be able to explain that, but for those who's not on LinkedIn, I'll kindly explain what that is. So LinkedIn is a worldwide known platform for career development and professional networking. It helps enormous amounts of people to find jobs and get in touch with employers and their desired company where they want to work in the future. And so LinkedIn as an app and a platform, by creating and having an account that is organized the best as possible and professional, they can increase their network and improve their careers, therefore get better jobs, meet other professionals in their field, and achieve success. So basically, like I said, LinkedIn, it's not just another social media platform like Snapchat or X or Instagram. It's a professional networking goldmine. And in the digital age today that we're living in, your online brand speaks volumes. So why should you even care about a LinkedIn account? Well, first off, to create your professional profile, you want to control your own identity. And LinkedIn profiles rise to the top of search results when you Google yourself. And trust me, you can do that right now. If you're on Zoom, if you're on your phones here in person, you can literally do that. If you have a LinkedIn account, 9 times out of 10, first thing they'll probably pop up be your LinkedIn profile, most likely. Also, to stay in touch with colleagues and friends, as your contacts update their profiles, you keep current events on their latest jobs, projects, and contact info. And it also allows you to broaden your opportunities. So you're able to view job opportunities, internship opportunities. And LinkedIn, it connects you with business leaders, groups, discussions, and ideal business partners that you're most inclined to. So here's some tips for updating your LinkedIn profile. And some of the stuff that I got from here was from some of the workshops I've done with my previous internships from WIS and from Witham. So I kind of combined some things here and there that I learned from there. But first is to tell people all about you. So basically you want to do is you want to add a short detailed blurb to your about section on your page. And do not worry, we'll go over a live demo of what a professional LinkedIn profile should look like in a little bit. But think of it as a 100-word elevator pitch that explains your professional objective. Describe your work experience and the type of role you are looking for or currently have if you're not in the job hunt. Second is to share your skills. Now you could list up to 50 skills on your page, but I would mainly do at least around 10 to 20. Don't want to overkill yourself by just putting 50. Ask coworkers to endorse those skills that make you shine. And think of it as another way to show off your references. And do not forget your profile picture. Yes, it should be a recent photo. Yes, it should be a professional headshot. And do not quote me on this, but I think there will be taking professional headshots at the Job and Internship Fair next Thursday. But again, I don't know if I'm right or wrong about that, but if I am, so yeah. You want to do is when taking your profile picture, you want to avoid distracting backgrounds. Shoot the photo in a soft, natural light, like on an overcast day, for example, and make sure your face takes up at least 60% of the frame. So here are some do's and don'ts of LinkedIn and what you should be doing on your LinkedIn to gain success. Let's start with the positives first. Do personalize your connection request. Do not make it the same every single time you reach out to somebody. Make it personal, so you have a personal connection with them. Do send a welcome and thank you message. I will heavily be talking about this in part 3, with our career fair prep. That actually ties in a little bit. Do respond properly and professionally. Do have a professional headshot. Do post content regularly. So what I mean by that is basically post once a week. You don't have to go crazy and post every day, but mainly just once a week. Do personalized recommendation requests. Do nurture your relationships. Do stay forefront in the mind of your connections, and also to introduce people, and also to keep it professional. Keep it professional 100% of the time when you're on LinkedIn. All right, for every do's, there's always the don'ts. Oh, and I actually have to, I can fix that. Right, no, should be fixed actually. Hold on a second. There we go. I had to make a little change there from last time we did this, so apologies. The don'ts of LinkedIn, what you shouldn't do on your LinkedIn for success. Don't send spam messages to your connections. Don't do that. Don't send irrelevant messages. Don't send messages with "I see you view my profile." Trust me, I have gotten multiple connections I've gotten to people I have no idea, and they said, "Oh, I see you view my profile." So again, only connect with the people you only know. Don't add connections to your email list, unless if you know them really well. If you don't, which probably 100% of the time, don't do that. Don't ask connections or people you don't know to endorse you. It'll look bad on your end. Don't ask strangers for recommendations. Don't post self-serving content. Don't forget to check and reply to comments. And the big one I will point out here, I should have put this at 10, but I put it at 9. Don't criticize others or comment negatively. I can tell you this, if you have nothing nice to say nothing at all. If that's one thing you should take away from this, if you don't have nothing nice to say nothing at all. Because again, it will bite you in the behind at the end. So, there. All right, so now let's talk about how to use LinkedIn effectively. So you want to do is connect with those people who you have common interests with. Like for example, every time we bring in a speaker from a company for BAP, you should be connected with them on LinkedIn after the meeting, as an example. Send personalized messages when connecting. Enter your qualifications to stand out, job applications, or in our case, because we are college students, internships applications, and include your profile link on your resume. And we'll talk about this in part 2 when we go over resume review. So I think I can maybe go on mine. I think I can probably do that now. So here is how to optimize your profile, and I'm going to use mine as an example. I figured. Where am I? All right. So if you see what my profile is, I have a nice background. I basically put my name, where I'm currently working at, audited assurance intern at WIS, go to FDU, basically put some of my featured things right here, like CMA scholarship recipient. And I also put my activity when I'm posting, and then my about. So basically, we talked about earlier, that's your 100-word elevator pitch you want to put right there. And then your experience, you basically list out all the experiences you have. I would only do from the day you entered into college to now. I wouldn't put anything from high school, because 9 times out of 10, most recruiters will not look at that. They will look at stuff from when you started out as a freshman, going into senior year. And then I basically put my education, my license certifications, so Bloomberg certified. And I also, if you also put projects on there, this is usually towards more the arts majors, but if you do have something you want to show off, like I did last summer, I did a case study on Coinbase, exchanges of the cryptos for WIS. You can actually show that off if you want to. And even some skills, so like some of the skills I have, like communication, student marketing, and then here's some recommendations that I was able to receive from some of my employers I've worked with in the past or formerly, and then basically you could also give recommendations to them. But like I said, make sure you know the person before you ask for a recommendation. I'll switch back over to that. So to change your profile URL, you want to, like I said, you want to make your profile unique. So there is a way you can do that. So the way you'll do it is you basically, when you go on your profile on your own account, you basically go into public profile URL. And I made a very, very bigger frame where it cannot see. Personalize the URL for your own profile. So I would just put in, Jack Mitchell or Joseph Lawton as an example. So profile basis, we already talked about that. So like basically I listed out all the activities I'm a part of, when I'm graduating, what degree I'm going for that. Again, optimizing my profile, I talked about that. Oh yes, we'll talk about this now. All right, so stats to keep in mind when optimizing your profile. So LinkedIn profiles with professional headshots, they get 14 times more profile views. LinkedIn profiles with photos, they get 36 times more messages, and 13 times increase in profile views for LinkedIn members that list skills on their profile. And don't forget, include your certifications and education. Every word in your profile is keyword searchable. So be sure you're using language that is relevant to your industry. Again, you have the power to control your online identity. So again, don't use it as another social media platform. Use this professionally. So again, why is this important? So the 5 most important things when building a network. Your personal brand. People connect with people. We all prefer interacting with people opposed to companies. Begin with your LinkedIn profile. Present yourself with authenticity. What you do, who do you help, who are you? Having childlike curiosity. You want to have the power to ask, why? Why are people feeling the way they are feeling? Be open to learn new ideas. Finding your voice. Don't talk to your audience like they're dollar signs. Share and build trust. Develop a relationship. Be real and avoid corporate jargon. The law of reciprocate. People feel compelled to return the favor. If your connections express an interest in something, send them a helpful insight of that with no expectation of a return. And finally, maintenance. Relationships require nurturing. Stay on top of communication even after the deal is closed. Survey when clients leave if it's appropriate. Now, here's some tips and best practices for when posting on LinkedIn. So again, when you tag somebody, benefits of including a caption and even tagging a company individual, like I would usually post sometimes when WIS is doing something, I would tag them in a post. And basically that company or person, they receive a notification, which increases the chances that they will likely engage, like, repost, comment with that post. And again, it extends the reach and it may show up on their feed, allowing their connections who may not be connected with you to see the post. And captions can help call out to the audience so that people understand that this article or post or announcement applies to them. And you want to post captions are also keyword searchable, like I said. So somebody is always searching about that topic you may be posting. And additional things to keep in mind, be entertaining and educational. Create content. It's not a commercial. It's okay to show personality. Now, in person, we use humor to break the ice. But on LinkedIn, we're so serious. That is so false. There is only one you. Leverage your unique story, communication style, and humor, and be consistent at all times. All right, and there's something I actually do want to show you guys I learned from my previous internship at Witham. They taught us this thing called social selling index. But basically what you would do is you could actually figure out your social selling index for your LinkedIn profile. You basically want to do is you Google social selling index. And basically if you click on that, it won't be a clickable link, but if you go to that link, step 3, you log in to your LinkedIn profile, get your score. And basically what the social selling index is, it measures how effective you are at establishing your professional brand, finding the right people, engaging with insights, and building the relationships. And I definitely think you should all actually try it out. after the presentation, obviously. But before we head over, because we're going to do the live demonstration, but we already did that. Does anyone have any questions about Handshake or LinkedIn in regards to how to set it up, how to make it clean, professional? Once, twice, thrice. All right, so I'm going to pass it over to Ricky, who will go over resume review.
All right, how's it going, guys? So just kicking it off, we're gonna get right into it. So your resume should always be the most important document you have on hand from now until the time that you find a job and then throughout your early career. So how do you begin a resume? Well, first you start off by self-evaluating, right? So you want to evaluate all of your past experiences. Now, if you're a freshman, sophomore, just begin your college career, it's okay to include some work experiences from high school. And as you develop at FDU here or whatever school you're at, you can then take your internship jobs or any other additional jobs that you have and include those on there. So don't necessarily worry about that. Just really evaluate all your past experiences, get them on there, and that's that, right? So additionally, you want to list some transferable skills, skills that can be used in any occupation. So, if you were an audit intern at a public accounting firm, communicated with team, collaborated with, things along those lines, right? So starters, you want to keep your resume short and direct. Shouldn't be longer than one page. Formatting wise, should be using an original template. Right? Employers will always appreciate originality. It's helpful to refer to, and it just keeps things simple and clear. I know you might have people in your ear sometimes that are like, oh, you want to put something on there that'll make your resume stick out, yada, yada, yada. But there's other ways of doing that don't involve using a crazy font or different colors within your resume. So again, you want to highlight your relevant skills and experiences. I'll get to it once we're showing the sample resumes, but you want to list your experiences by most recent, right? So if you interned this past summer and it was your most recent internship, you want that to be at the top. Summers before that, whatever they might be, those would be to follow. Always demonstrate results with numbers and metrics. So, when you're writing about your previous work experience, it's always a good idea to quantify your successes with numbers. So using these metrics can really highlight your achievements and give the managers or recruiters a clear sense of how you impacted the previous place of employment or in club or athletics team, whatever it may be. And again, just your resume is really a career snapshot. So try to get as much into it as you can in just that one page, and optimize your text, really.
And one thing I will add on, I basically bolded this out. The resume does not get the job or the internship. They get the interview. So do not think you're going to go in, you hand your internship online, you hand it into an HR rep, and you're thinking in your head, oh, they're going to give me the position. No, it takes you to the next level, to the next step, which is the interview. So we might even do actually refer to our CBiz meeting for helps on interview tips for that. I just want to put it on that. So sorry.
Right. And with that, with the resume, you don't want, obviously, if you're going to submit it for any position you're applying for, you don't want to have any lies on your resume, right? Because whatever's on your resume, you're going to get asked about in your interview. So always be prepared to speak about whatever's on your resume when getting interviewed. So some key components, we have a sample one listed here. Might be a little hard for you guys to see, but we can send this out afterwards. So basically, from a top-down approach, you start with your header. So your header should always include your first and last name, your email, your phone number, your primary address. And if you want to feature your LinkedIn profile, there's a way that you could do it if you export your resume as a PDF, and if you're turning it in electronically or applying electronically, the recruiters can click on that link to direct them straight to your LinkedIn page. So that's always another thing that you can include in there if it's done properly and your LinkedIn page is updated. This is another great aspect of a resume that I actually just started using on my own, is a career objective. That's one thing that can definitely separate your resume from others, because if you're just handing in a blind resume to somebody you may have never met before, yes, you might have your experiences, your education, your extracurricular activities listed on there, but they might not be able to figure out the why behind your resume. So what a career objective does, it kind of tells the recruiter or anybody in HR that you apply for this job with what your purpose of applying for this role is, right? And it can vary from job to job. It can be an overall career goal, whatever it may be, but I think that's a really great aspect, and added touch to the resume. The next section would be your experience and skills. So going down the line, again, like I said, list in order of most relevant. And then additionally, just some other things that you could put on there. Oh, skipped over this, but definitely your education, right? So your education should be right below the header. Right now, we're all students, so that is very important. And then with that, any honors awards that you may have received can also go there. Relevant coursework can also go on there. Trying to know. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much that for things that should be on there. So yeah, so with these resume don'ts. So again, like I said earlier, don't freak out if you have no relevant experience, whether you're fresh out of college or you're switching to a brand new industry. You can help bolster this lack of experience by listing your transferable skills, as we spoke about earlier, like communication, collaboration, organization, skills like that. Do not steal the job description's exact wording. So coupled with that, what I just talked about with the career objective, you don't want to copy and paste whatever the description was for the role that you applied and put in your career objective, because again, you should never be taking phrases straight from a job description. Always tailor your resume to a job description, adding in some of these transferable skills or whatnot, but don't take the words directly from the page that you found them from. You don't need to include any personal information like your age, your date of birth, your social security number. Leave that for the DMV and MVC, but you don't do that. And then again, don't use pre-made resume templates. I know Canva is a great source for creative design, but some of them can be difficult to work with when it comes to submitting. The recruiters could have problems on their end opening, so just keep it simple and straightforward. And then again, do not use any pronouns anywhere in your resume. It's never I or my, but speaking with verbiage about what you accomplished. Right. So here's some of these power verbs that we can use to describe what we did, whether in an internship or a job or a club. So, when you're listing your experiences, always start with strong action verbs. So instead of saying was responsible for, you can use managed, led, orchestrated, organized. And again, spoke about it a little bit earlier, but always quantify your achievements. Instead of saying increase sales, say increase sales by 20% in the first quarter, right? Now you're showing the recruiter or whoever's reviewing your resume a concrete idea of the contribution that you made to the team that you were on. So some formatting and common mistakes. Fonts, bullet points, margins. So make sure you're using a clear font. Pretty sure my resume is Times New Roman, size 12, as generic as it gets, but it's simple and it's clean. If you're using bullet points, stay consistent throughout your resume. Don't just kind of throw them wherever. Make sure they're organized and neat, and then always make sure your margins are equal all around the border. You don't want words overflowing to one side or from top to down. Make sure that it's straight and clean. Always, again, prioritize your information, so the most relevant goes first. And common errors that are found are just typos. So always make sure that everything's spelled correctly. I was sitting in a career workshop earlier today, and the lady was talking about how one time a student spelled fairly wrong. So you want to make sure that your own education is spelled properly. Really, this should be the most fine-tuned document you have on hand. Avoid using a passive voice. You want to be clear and direct, and overuse of jargon, so don't jumble your words. And just really consistency is key. So always use the same font and formatting throughout. And again, proofread, right? Make sure this thing is clean and acceptable. So now we have some sample resumes here. I don't know how much of a fan I would be of this bottom one on the right. I mean, it seems like there's a lot going on there. It can be jumbled up. Kind of takes away from the words and the experiences. But again, something like the one that we have here in the middle is great. Organized, bullet points are clear, dates are lined up, heading is very bold, and it gets to the point and it does exactly what it needs to get done. So here we have a great resume, Jack. Um, Again, you can see here he has clear header, contact information, education listed. Then it comes down to relevant coursework, and then transitioning into some work experience and the whole nine. So the bullet points are very clear. Dates are lined up. One page. Header, the subheaders are all formatted properly. So as you can see, they're all caps, bolded, and underlined. Which is perfect because that's how all the other subsections are. So yes, this is a good resume, and this is a bad resume, right? So here you can see, trying to make it a little bigger on my end. Hold on. Here you can see nothing's really aligned, right? His header is aligned to the left. His work experience is centered, so all over the place. Check marks and bullet points, which really isn't something that you would ever want to do. If you're going to use bullet points, use bullet points. His education is listed all the way at the bottom, which education should always be listed right after your name and your contact information. And he's got different fonts all over this thing. So just not very clean, cluttered, disorganized, and not something that you would ever want to submit to a recruiter or a dream job that you would like. All right, guys, we're going to transition back to some career fair prep.
Before, does anyone have any questions on resume review? And by the way, I will mention this. If you need your resume reviewed, we do have an amazing Silberman office on the former Metro campus. Please go see Pat Wire, Paige, or Mary. They will happily look over your resume. And trust me, if you are a freshman and you have not built out your resume yet, I would suggest scheduling a meeting with them and they can help you build it out. They are great people to go to for a resource. So, all right, thank you, Ricky, for part 2. All right, part 3, we're gonna talk about career fair prep. So this is basically gonna be what you guys should be preparing for next Thursday. Before we get to that, we need to discuss what is networking. So networking is a two-way, mutually beneficial professional relationship. It allows you to gain insight, support, and advice. It also is able to learn strategies and tactics, and also obtain referrals and searching for a mentor. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, 70% of all jobs are found through networking. 70% of jobs today are found through networking. Now, there are different ways to build your network. For example, join clubs. More specifically, join Beta Alpha Psi as an example. Just to throw the plug in there, but visit your campus career center. So our FDU Silberman office, placement and outreach, please go visit them. They can help you find an internship or a full-time position. Just ask for a cup of coffee, even if it's in person or virtually, and develop your online presence. And do not forget the most important thing: practice, practice, practice. Practice is key, and practice makes perfect. Trust me, it will pay off in the end. Now we're going to talk about some networking to-dos. You always want to have talking points. So the talking points that most of these recruiters are going to give to you, and I can actually speak on my own experience because I actually was a COO of a startup company, and I went to some virtual career fairs where I spoke to some students, and I kind of have an experience from an employer side of networking with another student. But again, what are your career plans? What classes are you taking? What are some of your interests? Now, don't be afraid to make the first move. And again, I know some of you might have cold feet and you're like, oh, I don't want to, make the first move. I want them to come to me. No, it'll make you stand out better if you make the first move. Be genuine and express interest. And again, ask thoughtful questions about themselves. And again, no questions are that stupid. None. Just be yourself. Just like we talked about in part 1, your LinkedIn presence Being your authentic self is the most important and powerful thing you do. One piece of advice I learned from my father is that you want to be the best version of yourself each and every single day. And I always apply that even when doing networking. You always want to be the best authentic version of yourself and be engaged. So what you hear is just as important as what you say. Be sure to listen and express interest in what other people are saying. All right, let's now go over some career fair and recruiting fair tips for you guys to learn. Let's start off with prepare. Review the employers on the career development website, or in other terms, in our case, when you go and sign up on Handshake, view the employers on there. Spend time getting some background on the organizations that interest you. Then you could be asked focused questions. This impresses the representatives of the recruiters because it shows them a genuine interest in them. So like, for example, if we basically went to, I'll probably pull this up here for Silberman events. I'll probably give you at least an example of what you wish you would do. So I would go to where's Job Internship Fair, and basically you can just see all the employers that are going. So again, you look up a company. So I'm just gonna, I don't know. I'm just gonna put this one in. Why not? Because I know they're gonna be there next Thursday. And again, they see what job titles have offering, what job types, their major group, employment type, work authorization, and who they're looking for, and also what employment type there is. So again, it is very important to prepare, not the day before the job or internship fair, but to prepare in advance. So just a little example of that. Rest. Your company research should be complete. So you should be able to get a good night's sleep the evening before the fair. You should. Professional dress is key. First impressions are very important, and trust me, the first time you meet with a recruiter, it's going to make a lasting impression. So, my advice, dress professionally. And we are going to show examples of what professionally means for the men and for the ladies. And you want to pretend as if you are going to an in-person interview. I know from my experiences when I've had interviews, almost all of them except for one of them was virtually. But again, pretend like you are going to an in-person interview. So examples of appropriate business attire for men and women. So for men, basically well-groomed hairstyle, simple preferred tie, dark color conservative suit, and polished dress shoes with matching dark socks. For the ladies, light colored dress shirt or blouse with undershirt, subtle makeup and jewelry, skirt or dress at an appropriate length, and closed-toe shoes with a conservative heel. And please do not wear this for next Thursday. Please don't. For the ladies, excessive jewelry, tight or revealing clothing, flashing accessories, ruffles, laces, or shiny fabric, and sneakers or inner flip-flops. For the men, no sunglasses, no hats, no baggy pockets, shorts, or jeans, and no holes and rips. Again, you want to put your best foot forward. So again, first impressions mean a lot. Bring many copies of your resume. Now, when we did this workshop back in the fall semester, it was mainly geared towards accounting and finance. And I know for next Thursday, they're probably going to be about, I think, 8 to 10, I think 8 to 10, I think. But again, bring enough resumes for the employers you tend to meet, plus 20 more. So what I did, I think I did this the last time I did it. I printed out at least 40 resumes. I know it seems kind of like overkill, but again, I want to just have enough just in case. And make sure that there are no errors. That's why I always say when going over a resume, proofread. That's why there's spell check on Microsoft Word for a reason. Spell check. Check that. Hell, you can put on Grammarly, and actually it can actually correct the grammar usage of it, and use resume paper. So plain simple. Allow yourself adequate time. Now, for a virtual career fair, I can tell you that if you do it via Handshake, you do have to sign up for slots. So this really wouldn't apply. But if you're going in person, you want to arrive at the fair at the designated time with 30 minutes. after the start time. My advice is you should get there at least 10, 15 minutes early just to get the lay of the land, see where everyone's at. And fairs close promptly. You don't want to miss any opportunity. So again, I would do is get there 10, 15 minutes early, see who's there, see who want to start to hit up first, because I guarantee you when the start time hits, it's going to be packed. There's going to be lines. You have to wait a while. You want to have a backup plan. Now, prioritize employers. You may have little time to speak to the employers because many other bright students may be interested in the same company. So budget your time wisely. If this was a virtual career fair on Handshake, you really wouldn't have to worry because it would probably be 10-minute intervals you have to speak to them. But again, this is more in person. Have a game plan. You get it? The game plan. Dwayne Johnson, star of the movie. I want to throw a little funny joke there at Disney. Take a few minutes when you arrive to review the location directory of your employer. So that's basically what I said 2 slides ago about allowing yourself adequate time. And you can locate the employers you're most interested in and see any lines are building up. You may want to start there. Explore other options. There may be employers who are added at the last minute. So you should also be open to seeing those employers because you may never know. They may even, give you an interview and it might lead to an internship. You may never know unless you try. And when you've seen all the other companies you set out to meet, visit those other tables. Again, it's also a great networking tool on your end. Introductions. Okay, so you want to offer the recruiter a firm handshake and introduce yourself. Be ready to have a 30-second introduction elevator pitch ready about what you are interested in and what you have to offer. And if you probably have had career strategies with Mary Sakin or Sandy Holder, or I think with Dominic Setolano, they basically will tell you that. Probably in the first couple of weeks in the course, they will teach you on how to create an elevator pitch yourself. So I'll give you guys an example of this. So hello, my name is Jack Mitchell. I'm a senior accounting major here at Fairleigh Dickinson University, Silberman College of Business with a 3.4 GPA. I am currently looking for a spring or summer internship for audit and insurance. Straight to the point, 30 seconds. So like I said there, include your name, current position, what you're seeking, selling points, qualifications, passions, etc. Hand your resume to the recruiter. It's also a nice gesture to welcome and thank the representative for coming to the college university, because trust me, they took time out of their day to come and visit us. So like I always say for all of our BAP meetings, please always thank them when we have them here. Be professional when you speak and be mindful of nonverbals. So what I mean by nonverbals, crossing your arms like this, eye contact. So, looking around all over the place, and fidgeting your fingers, hands. Just be very mindful of that. Respect employers' product samples. Okay. I know it might seem like, it's hard to contain yourself by getting these free stuff that they offer. And again, who does not like free stuff? I think everyone does. But again, they will probably sometimes bring product samples for students to take. Now, I'm going to say this. This is not intended to be a shopping spree. So just take one and thank the employer. And what I always would do is you would always ask them, say if it's okay before taking their materials on the table. It goes a long way, but don't take a lot, just take one. It's like when you're going out trick-or-treating on Halloween and they ask you, oh, take one candy out of the bowl. Think of it like that, just take one. Mind your manners. Not only you're representing yourself, you're also representing the university. The organizations at the fair are there because of you guys, the students here in the business program, all of FDU. Some representatives may even be alumni. Just saying. Be courteous to your fellow students waiting to speak with employers by keeping your introduction and questions brief and also respecting the employer's limits. Collecting business cards. This serves 2 purposes. First, you take brief notes on the back of each card. So like, for example, things you want to remember about the company or representative. And second, you will need the correct information to send a thank you note that acknowledges your appreciation of the employer visiting the campus and providing you opportunities. And what I always would do is I would actually have my own business card. I know you could probably make some on Canva, but what I actually had it's very, very cheap. It's actually an online digital business card that I have that I basically use for all my networking events that I go to. I think I have it here. Ah, here it is. Oh, this. So it's basically a Popple card. It's free account, you can make it, but it does look good. And again, you're not wasting paper. Just want to throw that in there. Now to one of the most important parts of this, and I am going to stress this a lot. Keep your social media identity clean. Be mindful of what you're posting on social media. Please remove or untag yourself in any unprofessional and adjust privacy settings on your accounts if necessary. And again, I've said this before in part one, never, and I mean ever, complain about a job, a coworker, or boss on social media. And if you think I am lying, do not take this lightly. A typical first step of an employer, and again, I can attest to this because I have done this before as a COO of a startup company. They would, after reviewing your resume, they would search you up online. They would search yourself on Google, including the image search, to see what comes up in the results page. And the one thing I will mention, you put a great deal of effort to make your resume look and sound perfect. Do not harm your chances of getting an interview with unprofessional content on social media, because I can tell you this right now, if you don't clean it up, they are not going to bring you on for an interview. So what I would do, in my opinion, I did this freshman year in college, I resetted my Instagram account, I made a whole new one, clean and professional. If you don't want to go, if you have like 1,000 posts, you can just do that. Or if you have like a little, just take off some things. But again, clean up your social media pages, all of them. So I'm talking about your Instagram, talking about your X's, your TikToks, your Snapchat accounts, clean them up. Like I always say, put your best foot forward. And the follow-up. This is very, very, very important. At the end of any networking event, any career fair, and I'll even mention another example, anytime we bring a speaker into BAP, you always want to give them a follow-up email or a follow-up message on LinkedIn. Because again, it goes a long way. And back in the old days, before we had, these technology and everything, they basically handwrite it and they would send it out, like literally handwrite it. I can vividly remember a story what Mary Sakin told me about a time where she wrote out a thank you note, wrote it out instead of emailing it, and it went a long way. You want to mention something specific that you talked about and thank them for the time to speak to them. And again, I'll also add on to this, don't use the same exact thank you note, make it unique, because I guarantee you, if they notice that you're using one version of a thank you letter and another one, they're going to say, oh, something's going on. And finally, be positive and smile. Like Mary always says, put on your smiling faces. I always tell her to get that trademarked, by the way. But the time spent with employers is a great learning experience and networking experience. So enjoy it and have fun. But again, also be professional at the same time. All right, so now let's have a little fun. Let's kind of quiz you guys on what you learned today. We're gonna do a little Kahoot game, and Joe is gonna run that for us, but I'm going to load it up here. So, just got all the questions. All right, yeah, I want that. I don't know if I'm able to get there, but while we are waiting, next week, Witham will be coming to speak to us next week. They will be coming in person, so please dress business casually if you can. Also, next week is the deadline for applications to become a BAP candidate. If you are interested in becoming a candidate for BAP this semester, please see either myself, Ricky, Joe, or Gloria on the Metro campus, or see Professor McGregor, Professor Sampath. We can give you a application and we can help you out on how to go forward with that. But again, the deadline is next week. So I figured why not? I'll play. Let me get this up on there. I gotta find my Kahoot app because I haven't used it in a long time. So, alrighty. All right. Here. All right. All right, I'm gonna let our MC Joe Lawton take over here, and we're gonna get this started. So, Joe, you can take it away.
Is that everyone that's playing?
Yep.
All right.
And do not worry, we will leave this up there for anyone who forgot to get in. So, if everyone's ready, let's get this party started.
When is the Job and Internship Fair?
We said this at the beginning of the meeting. So if nobody knows this, I'm going to be very sad if someone gets this wrong. I think we should all know. Okay, put the timer for 10 minutes. All right, thank God. Everyone got that right. I almost was about to get worried there for a second, but we're good. All righty. What is LinkedIn primarily known for? You didn't unmute yourself, Joe. That's why I said the question, so. All good. Oh, I have to go.
Only two answers?
No, there's one.
No.
There's one answer.
No, only two people answered. I thought 5 people signed in.
Yeah, I guess they didn't, I don't know. I know they're in the game. Yes. All righty. All right, next.
Why is LinkedIn important?
Probably gonna, after 5 seconds, I'm just gonna skip it because, all righty. For professional profile creation and networking.
Question 4. Which of these is not a do for LinkedIn?
Which of these is not a do? Not a do. It really should be which of these. I don't know if that's the right.
So what do you not do on LinkedIn?
Exactly. I should have.
Only one answer. Oh.
I should have worded it like that.
Which of these is a don't?
Yeah. Because we did this last semester, so I had to update it a bit. So I will write that down on my phone to remember to update that for next semester when we do this. All righty.
Ooh, Ricky's in first. What is the primary purpose of a resume? Question. What is this? 5 or 6?
This is 5. Oh, I made it quick and easy. 7, 6, 5. Get an interview. Amen. Everyone noticed when I put the bolded and highlighted about that part, so everyone understood that. Good.
Question 6. Which of these should not be included in a resume?
I think it's very obvious which one.
Yes.
Because if they don't, you see who's been paying attention in this workshop.
Good job.
Age, date of birth, social security number.
Question 7. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, what percentage of jobs are found through networking?
We just went over this third part. Just run over this. I want to put the music on, otherwise you're gonna get a copyright strike when we put this up on YouTube. So that's why I had to put the muted. So sorry about that. Yeah, 70%. Otherwise, I don't know.
Question 8. What should he do before attending a career fair?
Or networking event. Oh yeah.
Good job.
I have to go a cappella on this, but review the employers attending. I have to.
Question 9. Why should you clean up your social media identity when job hunting?
Because if someone selects none of the above, then
One of those is the answer.
I will tell you that. What is the answer? Because employers might check your online presence.
And the final question. What should you always do after attending a career fair?
And this goes towards anything, networking event, career fair, club meeting, bring a speaker.
Interview too.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Joe, for bringing that up.
And send a thank you note.
Always a thank you note.
All right, let's see the winners.
Helpful Yeti.
Good job.
And I got second.
Jack gets second. I think Ricky got first. Congrats.
There you go, Ricky.
Oh, yes, sir.
I remember the last time we did this, I know Joe won it. So I was like, let Joe be the MC for it. So next time we do this for the fall semester, I'll let Ricky take over it but yeah, so I hope you guys had a lot of fun with that. But again, all the information we told you guys today is going to help you guys for the upcoming job and internship fair that's coming up next week. But again, I will put this up there one more time, just so that if anyone forgot, I will put it up on there. For anybody who forgot, who was on Metro, who was on virtually, again, on the forum, scan the QR code, sign up for the career fair. Please do. And again, if you are a Metro student, you want to go, please see Paige on Metro for more transportation info, because I do not know that. She knows more than I do. But again, if that is all, that is it. Next week, like I said, Witham will be coming in to speak to us in person. And then also candidacy applications are due next week. So if you know somebody who would be interested in joining Beta Alpha Psi, please send them over to one of us or Professor McGregor, Professor Sampath, and we can help them out with telling about BAP and the application process. But with that being said, that is it for this week. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
everybody.
Take care.